Yes, sir. We back. This is, I think, episode 25. Critical Thoughts. Adam Neal. Rilla Crow. Me in the building, of course. Your favorite pair. I'm here with my favorite white boy. Back on a Monday. Shout out to everybody out there from New York, all around the world, the people that's watching us. But big shout out to New York this week. We're going to talk about that Giants win. Shout out to C.O. Smooth. Shout out to P-Rock. Yes, sir.
Speaking of the Giants, we're over here watching. I'm familiarizing Rilla a little bit with Saquon Barkley. So I'm showing his Penn State highlight tape.
Sir.
People forget, I do just to put it out there, I do like a top 100 every year of NFL prospects.
Okay.
I watch a lot of college ball. I put on Facebook. People look for it. They want to see it, actually, a lot of times. I want to see who, because I've been known to be, okay, so my top 100, it's not where I'm predicting the top 100 draft like they do. They predict it. I just give you my top 100 prospects on the board. You know what I mean? And then I don't, because a lot of these dudes, they predict what the GM is going to do and stuff like that. I'm not doing that. Yeah. I'm just giving you my top 100. A lot of time, my top 100 looks good in retrospect against what was drafted. But anyways, Saquon Barkley's highlight tape from Penn State is just unbelievable.
Unbelievable. We're watching it right now as we speak.
This guy was just on a different level. Like, to me, he's the best running back I'd seen since Adrian Peterson in college, which was like 15 years before him, kind of. Like, I hadn't seen anybody that good since Adrian Peterson at Oklahoma. Right. It was just. I remember he was a freshman too. I was like, who is this guy? I'm watching Oklahoma play Texas. It's AD's first game. Play Texas early in the year in October. He's a freshman. I'd seen him a little bit. Then I see him against Texas. I'm like, yo, this guy's a freshman? Where'd they get this guy? Like, this guy's not even he's ready. He looked NFL ready as a freshman. And this is not basketball, it's football. So it's hard for the freshman college football players to look like NFL ready. They usually, kind of look a little, they're 18 years old. This guy looked like NFL
shaky.
Back. Like, right away. Like,
he did his thing this week for the Giants. Shout out to Saquon.
Barkley had a big game, especially in the second half. Daniel Jones played good. Oh, wait. You just missed that. That was crazy. Let me take you on a journey. Oh, my God. Barkley's college highlight tape is insane. But, yeah, Giants, Daniel Jones, man, he's the key to the whole team. If he plays well, you can tell that the guys on the Giants, especially on offense, are looking for a guy who they believe in to play quarterback, because the Giants have talent, especially on offense. A lot of it. They have good talent on offense. I don't know, but the defense is a little shaky right now. But offensively, they have talent. Most of their first-round picks in the recent years have been on offense. Saquon Barkley, the quarterback, Jones. What's the kid's name? Kadarius Toney, that offensive lineman, Andrew Thomas. Another lineman they picked this year, Evan Neal. They also, Sterling Shepard, second-round pick a few years ago. They have Slayton. They signed Kenny Golladay. They used the first-round pick on Evan Ingram, who left, the tight end. So they just been, the offense, the players are there for them to do well on offense. The defense is not going to be amazing this year. It's going to have some rough spots for sure, but they should be competitive with Daniel Jones. The division, the Cowboys are, after week one, people want to put them away. The Cowboys had a rough night. They lost. Yeah. And Dak Prescott got hurt.
Dak Prescott he got injured.
He's going to miss some games, so that's going to be tough.
Yo, man, like for the watchers that's been watching, y'all already know I'm not as hip on football like my man right here. Mm-hmm. But what's up with the Cowboys? Like, they just got bad luck. Like what is it? Stephen, they go crazy on the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's all for show. That's a little bit, but it seems like Dak Prescott got hurt in 2019, kind of hurt their season. They didn't have they had Dalton backing up, and it just seemed to take the air out of the team. Last year he came back. They won the division. They were in the playoffs. They had a home game, and they just lost. Like, the NFL playoffs are tough, man. Like, it's good that you can have a good regular season, and just getting to the Super Bowl is hard.
It's tough, yeah.
Only 2 teams, and in NFL, it's hard with all the injuries. You got to have a lot of depth. So they really had a good season last year. They won the division. They had a home playoff game, and they just happened to lose to a 49er team that was just kind of hot.
Right.
And they had talent, too, and they just went in there and beat them. And, it's a game probably Dallas probably should have won. There was opportunities there, let's be late in the game, to win that game. Yeah. They just didn't do it. I feel like in a weird way, they kind of improved the team this year. But now, week 1, they're playing the Buccaneers at home. That's a tough game. Yeah. And then Dak gets hurt, and it's like, well, also they're without Michael Gallup, one of their second best wide receiver. He was out. He's still coming back from an injury. I think he's going to play soon, but he was out. I don't even know if I saw that rookie receiver they have, Tolbert. I don't even know if he was playing. So they were a little thin for Prescott with weapons, but their defense really played well. So it wasn't all bad. Their defense I think their defense is going to be really good this year, but they only scored 3 points. Dak's got to do better. Even without limited weapons, they still got to do better. But, with Tampa Bay, the whole thing, their offensive line is banged up, but they still got weapons over there. And let's not forget, the Bucs also have a good defense. So, you can't really how do we get?
What I was going to say? Before we continue, shout out to everybody that's tuned in. Shout out to the YouTube fam, to the Facebook fam. Shout out to everybody that's subscribed, follow, share, like, hit that notification bell. Stay tuned in with us, man. We coming every week with an episode. We're going to start hitting y'all off with more. Shout out to everybody that's been following us. But, yeah, man, football's been lit. Football's back. Football is lit.
Yeah, football week 1, the Giants win. They pull it out late. They were down 13-0 at the half. And then the offense got going. Saquon Barkley had a big run to get him inside the 20. Then they ended up scoring Barkley on a run, 13-6 at the time. Then the next time they got the ball, Jones hit Sterling Shepard with like a 70-plus yard touchdown pass. Now you got a tie game, 13-13.
Right.
And from there, go to HDM. Next one. Yeah, boom. Oh, sign out maybe? Yeah, we're over here. We're trying to get this Broncos Seahawks game Monday night, which is looking, hold on. HDMI.
Football's been exciting though.
Yeah, so let's keep going here. So it's 13-13. Then the Titans come down and score. They take the lead, but, they had opportunities to kind of run the clock out. They couldn't. Giants defense made some big stops. There was a play that was 3rd and 1, and instead of running Derrick Henry, they kind of gave the ball to like a tight end sweep or something like that. They ran, and it got stuffed. And the Giants got the ball back, drove down. Daniel Jones made some big throws. And, I just feel like after that playoff loss last year, here we go. The Titans are, they lost that big playoff game to the Bengals. Tannehill didn't play well. They sacked Joe Burrow 7 times and still figured out a way to lose the game.
Right.
Kind of took us some steam. They were a team that, they had Super Bowl aspirations big time last year. And to lose like that, and then they traded A.J. Brown, their best wide receiver, to the Eagles in the offseason, the money situation.
Oh, let's talk about that Bills win.
Oh, yeah.
Versus the Rams. That was big.
Yeah.
For the returning champions.
Yeah, what?
Especially when a guy that was playing in your team that got traded over and did his thing. Yeah, that
was huge. That was a huge loss.
Kind of hurt.
And I had said, what did I say? Von Miller not being there, I don't like the Rams this year. Just off that, because when you have him and Aaron Donald, that's when you have a problem guarding these guys with then Floyd and other guys. But you take Von Miller away from that, right? Now you can concentrate on Aaron Donald more. I didn't like the way Leonard Floyd played in the playoffs last year. I kind of saw Jalen Ramsey fading at corner from him being a top 5 corner. Yeah. Well, I've never really been a big fan of his, But I've seen his skills, right? He's like getting beat by guys. Guys are taking it to
How long he's been in the league?
I think it's probably like his 8th year in the league or something like that. But like, he's just not, there's no fear. Like, guys have been, last year in the playoffs, he got touched up a few times. True. And it's carrying over to this year. They don't have the same pass rush.
Right.
They also haven't developed the running game. The running game is still struggling. And now they brought in Allen Robinson to kind of replace Odell on the offense, and he didn't do anything.
What you think about Odell? When he's healed
up,
okay. You think he's gonna come back to the Rams?
I don't know. He's still a weapon. He gets a little too much pub from the media. Well, yeah. It's a little annoying because he hasn't really lived up to any of the expectations that he kind of put out.
He is good though, right?
He's good, but you know what? He hasn't. He's been, to be honest, he's had a disappointing career a little bit. He had a couple good seasons with the Giants, Rookie of the Year, whatever. But the playoffs, he didn't play well. Then he got hurt. Then he went to Cleveland and kind of didn't play well and had beef with the quarterback, Baker Mayfield, and had a whole drama. They ended up letting him go. He comes to the Rams, does well. It was like the perfect match with the Rams.
Perfect match for him, yeah.
They end up getting to the Super Bowl.
You think he'll ever come back to the Giants?
No. They don't need him. They just don't need him.
They don't need him, right?
It's not that they don't need him. It's just that.
Sorry to cut you off. Does Saquon play the same position that he plays?
No. Okay. Saquon's a running back and Odell's a receiver. These guys catching the ball. But that was a running back catching the ball.
Right.
But yeah, Odell is for teams that are good and need a receiver. Maybe are short at receiver and you can put him in as a second or third receiver. It's a good spot for him.
What position does Cooper Kupp play?
That's what I'm saying. Also wide receiver. Good teams have 3 or 4 wide receivers.
Cooper Kupp.
But see, the fact that Cooper Kupp was there
so good
made it good for Beckham to come in that second spot and just kind of not have the defense, have a little less coverage on him so he can kind of shine, get a little more one-on-one. Because one-on-one, he's still tough to guard. If you're going to have to guard him one-on-one the whole game, it's going to be tough. He's
what you think
skills.
About this? They asked Miller if to compare basketball players to the NFL players. Yeah. And they brought up 3 players. They brought up KD, Steph, and LeBron. He feels Aaron Rodgers is LeBron.
I think he was talking about Josh Allen, his quarterback now.
No. He said Aaron Rodgers is like LeBron.
Who said this?
Von Miller.
When?
Just recently. I could play it for you. He said he feels like he's KD.
Talking about Aaron Rodgers from Green Bay.
And he feels like Cooper Kupp is Steph Curry.
I could see the Cooper Kupp, Steph Curry comparison.
He said he feels like KD and he feels like Aaron Rodgers is like LeBron because he's like the poster child for winning. And he mentioned, he only has 1 chip, but it's like his story is like the person that came up. He's a good human. He's never like bad in the press. Actually,
now he is. The press hates him because he shitted on their whole COVID narrative, which he's like the most hated guy in the NFL now by a lot of the press. But it wasn't never like it was.
No, but
like
he wasn't talking because press talk shit. But he's talking about like the viewers and inside the NFL, people like us, the people that view certain people.
I would not compare Aaron Rodgers. I think that's a little off. I don't agree with that. Aaron Rodgers is not. See, LeBron is a corporate. LeBron is a corporate entity that follows the corporate.
No, yeah, but
that's why I can't agree with what he's saying because
just Aaron as Rodgers, an athlete and stats and everything and what they represent to the sport.
No, not Aaron Rodgers is his own guy now. Aaron Rodgers has no corporate holdings. He's saying his own thing. In fact, Aaron Rodgers gained a lot of respect from a lot of people for standing up.
So he's more like Kyrie,
the monster. Kind of. Yeah. I would say Aaron Rodgers is more of a Kyrie than a LeBron. Yeah.
But I feel like he was speaking about the stature. Like how when people, no matter how you feel, when people think about basketball and who's representing it right now, they think LeBron. Some might, realistically, I feel Steph. But, like how the majority is, they think about basketball, they think about LeBron James. He's like the face of basketball.
I don't know if Aaron, see, the NFL's hard to have a face of the NFL because
I feel like the face is Tom Brady.
Yeah, and that's because the NFL is so team oriented. Right. It's like, guys are wearing helmets. You don't really see them.
Right.
It's more of a team thing. It's more of like the NBA can be more of an individual player brand. type of deal. I mean, I could see the Cooper Kupp, Steph Curry thing. That's a good one. LeBron and Aaron Rodgers, I mean, I just can't. No, the way Aaron Rodgers came off to me last year, like, he's his own man. He doesn't bow down to the corporate. He doesn't say, LeBron just says dumb shit. Like, I just don't like that comparison right now of LeBron James and Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is actually a real one to me. Like, LeBron James is just like being told what to say and say. I don't know, but I can't dig that, but whatever. But anyways, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, Odell. I don't want to talk about Odell so much. Odell's all right. He's hurt. Like, week 1, forget Odell. He's not around.
Excuse me.
Bless you. I don't want to talk about him. So the Giants won. How about we'll stay in New York for now? The Jets. I don't even want to talk about the Jets and it's not because I'm so mad at them. I'm kind of a Jets fan.
Right.
It's just that I got this conspiracy theory about it that I don't want to get into yet, but it's deep.
I'm
not going to get in because it's going to take the whole show. I can't really just dibble into it. I will do a show on it because it's deep rooted. And it's going to just take, but anyways, like, the whole thing, Joe Flacco starting for the Jets yesterday. I mean, old man Flacco, he's slow, the delivery's slow. I mean, he could still throw, but the Jets just had a young quarterback, Zach Wilson, who they were waiting to play with, waiting to show his talent. And then their coaching staff is keeping him out precautiously for the first 3 games. And then, so yesterday they're playing the Ravens, which I thought was a perfect opportunity for Zach Wilson to showcase year 2 and come out guns blazing. And they're sitting him out for Joe Flacco, and they lose 24-9 in a boring game. Flacco couldn't do anything. The team's vibe wasn't there because of, that's not who the guy they thought was going to be starting QB this year.
Yeah. Right.
And Zach says he can play, which is even more like weird. But
Right.
So
try to listen to this. I'm gonna play this for you.
Will be my LeBron of the NFL. Aaron Rodgers, he's like the poster child for success and championships. And even though he's only won one, like, you like identify Aaron Rodgers with like winning and success, and that would be my LeBron James. My Steph of the NFL would have to be Cooper Kupp. Nice, clean shaven, wins championships. Is the best at his position. Been the best for a very long time. Doesn't have like a super flashy game, but it's super effective, and he racks up all type of records and all type of points.
KD.
That would be me. I love winning. I've just created this obsession with winning. I'm not afraid to go to another team and do it. I've been on super team.
How you feel about that?
Well, KD didn't. I mean, LeVon Miller's won with 2 different teams. I would have to say. Hold on, let me think about this first.
But that's kind of like what I was saying, right?
I'm not agreeing with what he's saying here.
No, I'm not saying I agree.
Cooper Kupp, Steph Curry thing, I can see that more of like when when Steph just started. He's like, Cooper Kupp is still in like the middle stages of like.
Right.
But Cooper Kupp and Steph is very I can see some of that. But him being KD, I mean, there's so many players that impact in the NFL. It's just different. It's hard to make a comparison. Like KD, who would I compare KD in the NFL to? I might compare KD to Aaron Rodgers, actually. KD right now is like Aaron Rodgers. Not getting it done in the playoffs. Only one time. KD won 2 chips, but when the Golden State won it. They're both really not liked in the media right now. Kevin Durant or Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is more like Kevin Durant than LeBron James. Rilla. Now he's not here when I'm making my point. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is more comparable to Kevin Durant than LeBron James right now, easily. I don't know if there is a LeBron James right now in the NFL. Tom Brady is like surpassed LeBron James. Yeah, LeBron James is not in that league. Tom Brady's like, I don't know. I don't even want to say Michael Jordan because he's kind of not. But there are some similarities. LeBron James in the NFL right now, LeBron James at NFL. That's tough. I don't have one for you. I would say maybe Von Miller would be. Okay, so I think Aaron Rodgers is more like Durant, and Von Miller is more like LeBron. But not really like face of the league, but just the fact that he'll bounce from a team and win a championship. Like he won in Denver, he won in the Rams. Now he's has a chance to win one with the Bills. Kind of like LeBron went to Cleveland, to Miami, and to LA to win. So he's kind of doing that. Where Aaron Rodgers and KD are very similar, actually. Aaron Rodgers is much more like KD than LeBron. Because they're both surly. They both really don't always say what the media wants them to say. They're both mercurial, like really talented guys, but like somehow don't like take over like they could. Like people want them to just take over games and take over big playoff games. They kind of don't do that because they're more this very team oriented in a way also. So it's like, yeah. So I like the.
So you would say
I say Aaron Rodgers is more like Kevin Durant than LeBron James. And Von Miller's more like LeBron because he jumped from team to team.
Kevin Durant don't be speaking out like that. You think so?
He has been speaking out a lot, bro. He spoke out on the Kyrie situation.
You think
he spoke out? He also spoke out about.
No, I don't know. So I'm asking.
He was like free KD. He asked for a trade, just like Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Both asked for a trade. Both beefing over contracts.
Okay.
Both had the whole drama. They're gonna trade him, or what are they gonna do? The same thing with Rodgers and KD. They both kind of like you might interview him and you don't know what they're gonna say one night. Where like LeBron James, you already know what he's gonna say most of the time. He's gonna say the same shit. Aaron Rodgers, he also goes off on random people too, like KD does. Yeah. He was talking shit about some reporter last year. He called him a bum or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. He went off on some guy who asked him about the COVID thing, and he just like ripped him like a couple of weeks ago. Aaron Rodgers.
Word?
Yeah, in the media, So yeah, I would say that Aaron Rodgers is more of a Kevin Durant, where, but yeah, it's hard to make the comparisons. Cooper Kupp is a very, he looks like, they'll say he looks like just a white guy out there, which is so stupid. But like Cooper Kupp, he's hard to stop, man. Even when the Rams just lost to Buffalo, right? Week 1, Buffalo came in, beat the Rams, the champions. Cooper Kupp had a big game. He's the only guy who played really well for the Rams. That day they shut him down. He had 13 catches, 128 yards, and a touchdown. So it's not like.
But everybody like talks good about Cooper Kupp.
Yeah. So yeah, he last year, and I was talking about him with Anthony when me and him were doing the pod. From the beginning of the season, I had him in the top 5 MVP, and people were like, damn, Cooper Kupp, like, yeah, he's doing good, but, And I'm like, watch. Wait till is he going to stop doing good? And he never stopped doing good ever the whole season. I think, like, his least game was, like, 60 yards receiving. He had at least 60 yards in every game. And, like, when you combine a regular season and playoffs, he had the best season of any wide receiver in NFL history, including Jerry Rice, including anybody you want to talk about. Last year, Cooper Kupp, that was the best season of a receiver in NFL history. By far, almost. So he's the only guy, if you add playoffs and regular season, to get over 2,000 yards receiving, right? You know what he ended up with? Forget 2,000. He ended up with 2,425 yards receiving. Touchdowns. Okay? Nobody ever got past 2,000, and he got 2,425 yards receiving. And 22 touchdowns. And, my guy, in the playoffs, every game, he won the game in the fourth quarter with scoring the winning touchdown. In the Super Bowl, in the NFC Championship game, and in the game when they beat the Buccaneers, with 30 seconds left, the game's tied. Rams have the ball. What happens? Cooper Kupp for 20, Cooper Kupp for 40 down the middle, field goal, game over. They beat Tampa Bay in time.
Oh, by the way, shout out to Cooper Kupp. because I actually won some. My first time, quick story. My first time ever, like, making some real money on DraftKings, because that's when I started betting. Yeah. You remember, like, around that time last year, that's when I started asking you about shit, because I know that you was on your shit before I was on this podcast. Shout out to my boy Ant. Like, which we're gonna like start doing again now that the sports is coming back, because my man right here got a lot of knowledge on betting. Shout out to my bookie DraftKings. I ain't gonna shout you out again until we get that sponsor. But for the people that do be betting and shit, my boy be having these hot takes. My boy, normally I could say maybe 80% is correct. Let's
say like 60, but 60 is good.
All right, well, let's say
50,
this.
50, you're all right.
I add the 20 because you got the knowledge.
Yeah, and betting is so hard.
And like so no, but it's like. Like I've always said this. I've always said this because I did decent on basketball because I know the game. You play the game. Yeah. You was a quarterback. You was in it. And it's not like, we play for now. You was one of those dudes that
playing some real ball.
Yeah, you played. You feel me?
So
ball, that 20
helps you move
exactly my point. So you could say 50 because 50.
No, I'm like 50.
Of course, you know what I'm saying? Because betting is betting. But when you have the knowledge, we can at least push that up to 70.
Yeah, you can see certain things like I know if a guy gets hurt and if the backup is actually kind of good, and he might not have played so much in the NFL, but I know from his pedigree in college if this guy's actually good or not. So you can kind of hedge stuff like that. You can know, sometimes I know if a young quarterback's going to be good before he really even gets much experience, because I just know his pedigree. I'm like, I'll hedge. I'll be like, I know Josh Allen's going to be good, so I bet on him. You know, I was a big Josh Allen. I knew Patrick. You know, I had Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, what was he? The number 12 pick in the draft, 13th pick in the first round. I had him number 1 on my top 100, where nobody else did.
See,
so you know,
that's what I mean. That's why you give that 20. You know what I'm saying? Because so let's just say this 70%.
Yeah,
at the time my boy be right because he got the knowledge and he does it himself. He puts his money on the line, but. My point, I forgot my point. My point with that is, I forgot. I totally forgot what the fuck I was gonna say. Yeah.
Okay, so the Jets lost. I mean, we were just talking about some football stuff.
What was we just talking about?
We went into KD, LeBron. Oh, you wanted to make a quick talk about Cooper Kupp on DraftKings.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
There you go.
So with Cooper Kupp, like when I first started like getting into the betting and shit like that, Adam can tell you I didn't know shit about football.
Yeah, but you want to have some fun.
And I remember, because, basketball was, like, ending, I think, something like that.
Football was hot.
Yeah,
and you wanted to have a reason to watch the game.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly my point.
Yeah.
So then I remember I betted on 2 games that I won a lot of money on. And you could correct me if I'm wrong. This was last year.
Uh-huh.
The Chiefs played a game
to
get to the playoffs or something like that.
Or maybe to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and then that was the game before the game that they lost.
Okay, so you're talking about that great Chiefs-Bills game.
Bomb.
Where they scored a lot of points at the end of the game and they were going back and forth and scoring.
Did they win that game?
The Chiefs beat the Bills in overtime.
Okay, exactly. Yeah. That was the game, right?
Uh-huh. That was a sick game. That was the best game.
Shout out to my boy Ash. Shout out to my boy Ash because he gave me a lot of picks and he was telling me, if I'm not wrong, he told me to bet on Tyreek Hill, which was on the Chiefs at the time, right?
Yep.
Tyreek Hill. He told me to put money on Mahomes, and I didn't know shit about Mahomes. Like Mahomes, he was like, he's gonna throw over this much yards.
So you probably watched that game and were like, wow, this is a sick game.
I ain't gonna lie to you. When I watched that game, I thought Mahomes was the best thing I ever seen in my life as a quarterback.
But what about the guy?
He was doing shit off foot. Now that was different too because I think he was one of the reasons why they went to overtime.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So then
that was one of the best games ever.
Yeah. And then I got to witness that shit just off the wing, you know?
You caught a good game to start watching football.
And I betted on Tyreek to have certain yards. Was going in. I betted on Mahomes. I'm betting on Josh Allen to have a certain amount of throwing yards and shit like that.
You hit all of them.
Boy, when I told you, and that was on DraftKings, so it was one of those things where you just pick a couple things.
You parlay it.
Yeah, you parlay it.
Yeah.
When I tell you I bet it probably like $20 and made like
couple hundred.
$225.
Yeah.
It was $275 what I made.
Everybody on the offense beat past their numbers in that game.
And then on top of that, I remember the next game that I betted on football was the Rams game.
The Rams against the Bucks was probably
the Rams
same day.
against the Bucks
was the same day.
So, and that was when
Brady and against Cooper Kupp.
That's when. See, this is how real it is because I'm asking certain things just so you could just certify it.
Yeah,
I think that game, Odell Beckham scored a touchdown.
Yes,
Cooper Kupp scored a touchdown, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
and Ash was just like, because I was telling him like all I knew was Odell, right? So I was like, you think Odell's gonna have more touchdown than this guy? Because that's what I was about to bet. He was like, nah, put your money on Cooper Kupp. He was just telling me, he was just like, nah, bro, Cooper Kupp gonna do more than Odell. So I was like, all right, I trusted his word. Boy, when I tell you, that was the biggest win I ever got on DraftKings.
That was an insane game
like
because
$50, and I won like literally like three.
Because the Rams had a big lead in that game in Tampa. It was 27.
And then they came back.
The Buccaneers came back and tied the game at 27.
You know what put me over? And I was waiting to the end of the game to just get everything right. No, I was waiting to like the second half. Yeah. I betted that the Buccaneers
would come back.
Was gonna score. I think like the first touchdown in the second half or some shit like that. Something like that. Yeah. And they did that. When they did that, bro, I already was looking at my whole parlay and I was like, I won. And then, to my luck, I started betting more when the Super Bowl came around. I completely.
And the Super Bowl was a dub. Nobody did shit in the Super Bowl.
Oh, and I betted on the Super Bowl. Like, I betted Odell was going to do his thing. He got hurt.
I was under in the Super Bowl. Yeah. Like, Cooper Kupp's overall stats were good, but I think, like, under maybe his average a little bit. But he scored the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl. He scored. So that game, so think about it. The Rams are up 27-3 on the road in Tampa. Brady being Brady brings them back. Now it's 27 up. About less than a minute left. Now the Rams get the ball back, and Cooper Kupp.
You know it's funny that you mentioned that? Because now it just all made sense because Brady was in the Buccaneers. I completely forgot that. I remember I was telling this nigga, I'm like, yo, isn't Brady the GOAT, though? And he was just like, yo, bro, the Rams are going. He was set on that shit. He was like, the Rams are going, bro. Like, Tom Brady's that dude, but the Rams are going.
Yeah, you have to have an entire football team to win a championship. The quarterback can't really single-handedly, like, bring a bunch of guys who aren't really supposed to win the whole thing to win it. Like that, you got to have a lot of components in football to win. Like, you could be an amazing quarterback, but if your defense ain't shit, you're not going to do it. And look what happened to Josh Allen last year. He played a great game, a flawless second half against Kansas City. I mean, you couldn't do it any better than that, and they still lost because the defense could not get it done.
Right,
they got ran through by Mahomes. So it's like winning a championship, there's a lot of components that have to come together. You got to have to be at least your biggest weakness has to be about average or a little above average. The Rams actually were able to win the Super Bowl while in the playoffs they couldn't really run the ball. They struggled running the ball, but the defense was good. And Matthew Stafford and the offense, Cooper Kupp, Odell when he was healthy, they made enough plays in the passing game to win. They came back. It was tough. The San Francisco game, they were down most of the game in the NFC Championship. They came back late. Won that game. Right. They came back late against the Bengals. They had a lead. Then the whole second half, the Bengals took over that game. They looked like they were going to win the Super Bowl. Here goes Rashad Penny for the Seahawks, having a good game against the Broncos. Watching this Monday night game, by the way, the Seahawks at home up 17-13, trying to ruin Russell Wilson's return game back to Seattle. Let's get through the NFL a little bit. So the Jets, they're waiting on Zach Wilson to come back. It's going to be tough. Some other games, Miami, New England. Miami wins 20-7. Tua and the offense. Tyreek Hill, the guy you mentioned, he's on Miami now. Their defense did a good job shutting the Patriots down. I don't know what's going on with the Patriots. I've been hearing weird things about them all season. Like, Bill Belichick hasn't really picked an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator or something like that. And when, like, the team doesn't even know, like, who's doing what. I don't know. I've been hearing
weird things. Do you think the Patriots have been the same since Tom Brady left?
Obviously not. They haven't won a playoff game since the 2 years that he left. They did make the playoffs last year without him, with a rookie quarterback. So you got to give them some props for that with Mac Jones. But year 2, and like Belichick's pulling silly, weird moves. They let J.C. Jackson walk to San Diego, their top cornerback. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you have this thing with the Patriots. You always expect them to somehow win because they've done it. And Mac Jones looks like a good young quarterback, but I don't know, strange things I've been hearing about on the inside about New England. So, and they lost 20-7 to Miami. Like we spoke about Buffalo, I don't like how the Rams. Buffalo look good. Buffalo looks really good. They got Von Miller helps that defense, and they got some young defensive ends that he's mentoring. You can already see that some of those guys are playing well because they got a veteran, like a smart veteran like Von Miller, who is not scared to show the young boys how to do some things and let them get better, teach them some tricks, and you could see it. The pass rush was ferocious. They got to get some cornerbacks back in play. Tre'Davious White is hurt, but they were good enough to cover last night. Their safeties are really good. Their linebackers are really good. Their offense is really good. The quarterback's unbelievable, Josh Allen. You know, so, yeah, Buffalo looks good. What else? The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Bengals played a really good game that the Steelers stole from the Bengals in overtime. A lot of missed kicks in overtime. The Steelers, see, I really like the Steelers coming into the season. Their defense looked unbelievable against the Bengals. T.J. Watt, the reigning defensive player of the year, looked great. But guess what? Always somebody week 1. T.J. Watt tore his pectoral muscle. They're not sure how bad it's going to be. It may only be 6 weeks. It may be the whole season. They don't know yet. But that's a big loss for Pittsburgh. The quarterback situation, I mean, Trubisky was good enough to win that game. But Kenny Pickett will become the starter for Pittsburgh this season. And it's definitely going to happen. And I don't know when it's going to happen. But I'm going to say between weeks 4 and 8. Kenny Pickett, the rookie that they're grooming, he's going to take that job from Trubisky because Trubisky came out, played good. Guys made some plays, but then late in the game, he couldn't do anything. Yeah. And Pittsburgh's defense really won the game. You know, intercepting Joe Burrow 4 times.
Oh, yeah, they was talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their defense, and it wasn't really like Joe Burrow was bad. They weren't like bad interceptions. The Steelers players were making great plays on defense. They got talent. They can play on defense. Even with T.J. Watt out, hopefully not for the season, they're still going to have a good defense. But they're going to have to get Trubisky either.
This is Joe Burrow's second year, right?
Third year now. He made the Super Bowl second year, which is really, really impressive. The Bengals, even though they lost, they're going to be good. They got a good offense. They got I think T. Higgins got banged up a little bit in that game. The other receiver besides Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase was fantastic. He single-handedly helped, and him and Burrow brought the Bengals back. But the Bengals need either T. Higgins to stay healthy, Tyler Boyd to start getting involved more. I know Hayden Hurst made some plays. They got him at tight end now. The defense on the Bengals is pretty good. They're going to be good. The Bengals are going to be good. That division's going to be good. The Browns won. They beat Carolina in a tight game. Baker Mayfield going up against the Browns, his old team. A game that the Browns do what they did. They run the football. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt ran the ball very effectively against Carolina, and they were able to control the game, even though Carolina came back, took the lead 24-23 late with like a minute left, their first lead. Cleveland was able to get down there and kick. There was some rookie kicker kicked like a 58-yard field goal to win the game for Cleveland. So it was crazy. Then we had Eagles-Lions. High-scoring game. Eagles came out, but the Lions kind of hung with them and made it interesting late. 38-35, Philly won. The Lions look much improved. They're going to win some games this year, the Lions. The Eagles look good. The offense look good. They're still, like, not 100% sold on Jalen Hurts at quarterback, but he played well. You had some crazy games yesterday, like the Saints at the Falcons. They had to come from behind and win 27-26. They rallied late. Michael Thomas had a couple of big touchdown catches late. He hasn't played in a long time. He's back. Good to see him back, a star receiver for the Saints. The Colts and the Texans played to a 20-20 tie, which was the Texans. The Texans' young quarterback Davis Mills is making strides. He played pretty well. The Colts, who I don't love this year, I think they're a little overrated in the AFC. They couldn't get it done. They struggled. They tied the game at 20, and then the overtime was just, a bunch of nonsense. The Commanders of Washington, they beat the Jaguars in a pretty good game, 28-22.
You name.
Carson Wentz threw 4 touchdown passes. The much maligned, hated by the media Carson Wentz showed out. And I think he might do well on the Commanders. They got some players on offense. You know, early in the season, everyone's got hope. They're healthy. There's a new season. NFL, you never know. Who would have thought the Bengals were going to go to the Super Bowl last year? Like, you just never know. So there's hope. Niners and Bears, ugly game in the rain, 19-10, 2 young quarterbacks, sloppy. The Bears win at home. The Niners, they didn't think Jimmy G was that guy. They got this young kid, Trey Lance, who's kind of inexperienced, and they might struggle this year. George Kittle missing games again. He's kind of hurt now a lot. Deebo Samuel, they weren't able to get him the ball in the passing game. He had a nice touchdown run. But I don't know about them. The Chiefs went into Arizona. Arizona, who's been a team that looked great the first half of the season last year. Looked like unbelievable. Then they slowly fell apart. Then they had the issue with their quarterback, Kyler Murray, in the offseason. Now they come out and have a tough, slow game against the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes looked absolutely phenomenal week 1. Without Tyreek Hill, they had a couple pieces, and he was spreading the ball around. Juju Smith-Schuster was eating. Travis Kelce, of course, was eating. Mecole Hardman made some plays. The running back had a great game. Their young offensive line is starting to look really good. The Chiefs' defense played well. They always play well enough to get wins because they know their offense is very explosive with Mahomes. I have to say, if I was going to do like last year, my MVP update every week, week 1 we're doing MVPs, I'd have to have Mahomes in the number 1 spot right now. Followed by Justin Herbert from the Chargers. Chargers-Raiders, big game also in the AFC. Chargers won 24-19.
Talk about it.
Derek Carr turned the ball over yesterday, and he's a guy I really like. I think he's good.
Yeah.
But, he threw some picks. And, the Chargers are loaded, man. They're a loaded team. I mean, we knew about the offense with Herbert and the weapons at receiver and the different running backs they have. And now they got Gerald Everett at tight end. So they upgraded a little bit there. But they upgraded on defense, too. Like, dude, they went out and got Khalil Mack to rush the other side opposite Joey Bosa. Ooh. And they added J.C. Jackson, who I think is the best cornerback in football. He didn't even play yesterday. But they have him, too. And they had talent on defense. Now they got more talent. They got some young linebackers who I like Drew Tranquil and Kenneth Murray, and they got front 3 guy. They added Brockers in the front 3. They got Derwin James back there at safety. I mean, the Chargers, they're a loaded team, man. They are definitely loaded. The Raiders added Devontae Adams, of course. He had a good game, but Carr turned the ball over. That was the difference in the game. And they still only won. The Chargers only won 24-19. So the Raiders were, they had a chance late. That was a good game. The Bucs beat the Cowboys 19-3. Julio Jones looked good for Tampa Bay, his debut for them. Tom Brady, man, 45 years old, and the dude can still fucking play quarterback, man, at the NFL level. No problem. He's not the best quarterback in the league anymore. I'm going to say that. People think that. He was actually rated by the players. He's not the best quarterback in the league, but he's still good. And what he has is, in big games, he understands all the moments, all the situations. Nothing's going to bother him. There's no trick defense somebody's going to play that's going to shake him up a little bit. He knows how to lead. He knows how to make the players around him better. So he has so much tangible value, Tom Brady. And then the Bucs got talent on their team. Like, he wouldn't be there at 45 years old.
Yeah, if they didn't have no talent.
They decided, like, okay, so Antonio Brown did some bullshit last year. Okay, so we'll just go get Russell Gage and Julio Jones to take his place. Like, not bad. They actually upgraded over Antonio Brown basically. Big time. Chris Godwin's back from an injury. He looked like he got banged up. The one thing they are missing is tight end with Rob Gronkowski, who's retired right now. That's a loss.
Yeah.
And O.J. Howard left.
Right.
Yeah, Gronk is a big loss. And they have Brate. They got another tight end, Rudolph, who's decent, but those guys ain't Gronk. So that's a different. They also have a plethora of running backs that can run. So Fournette had a big game yesterday. They got the kid, Keyshawn Vaughn. Rashad White they just drafted. So they got running backs. They got players on defense. The kid Tryon at defensive end is playing well. They got Shaq Barrett. They added actually Akeem Hicks from the Bears.
This season for football.
Yeah, the Buccaneers got a team. They're going to be strong. The offensive line is all types of banged up, but the guys they put in did well.
Yeah.
So, what can you say?
Hey, let's do this.
Go ahead.
We haven't done this in a while. We're going to call somebody up and get their opinion on football.
All right.
I got a caller that's watching.
Okay.
So we're going to give him a call right now.
Let's do it.
Do it. Let's see. Let's talk to my guy.
I'm trying to think what are the games there were yesterday. We kind of went through some stuff. Oh, the Vikings over the Packers. That was a nice game. The Vikings are on the and remember I picked them to win the division.
Yo.
Got
my boy Nate on the line.
Oh, Nasty Nate.
Shout out to my boy Nasty Nate, man. What's going on? You watching the pod?
I'm watching the pod. I got y'all pulled up on the iPad.
Oh shit!
I got the game on the TV right now. Seahawks up.
The Seahawks are hanging tough out here tonight.
Hold on, quick thing. Shout out to my boy Nate.
Geno Smith looking like an all-pro quarterback. I'm very surprised.
Hold on. He live right now on Critical Thoughts. You got my man Nate. It's one of my closest friends right here. We ain't gonna talk too much about the future, but Sleepless in Seattle. Get ready for that. But in other news, what's going on, my guy? You listening to the pod. My man Adam got these hot takes on football. Let's go, man. What's your opinion on things going on?
I just want to say real quick. Nate, you're right, though. Geno Smith has been competent enough tonight to win a football game. So
you know what? I have to check myself. Let's not act like he hasn't been a starter in this league before. Despite the circumstances.
Yeah.
He's been a starter in this league. It's not like he's getting started.
Yeah. And he even played last year when Russell Wilson got hurt.
Exactly.
And he was decent. He was solid. He was okay. He was okay. So big shout out to him.
One game.
Yeah.
Who you rooting for this year?
What happened?
Who you rooting for this year?
I know who he's rooting for.
Oh, you already know how I do. Big Blue to the day I die.
Giants.
Oh, you know what? I'm tripping. I thought you were an Eagles guy for some reason.
No, I'm on New York everything except basketball. I'm a Sixers fan in basketball.
That's what it is. You're a Sixers fan in basketball. Yeah. Okay. Because I was thinking Eagles for some reason. But Big Blue, listen, Big Blue had a nice win yesterday. And I've been telling you.
You know what? No, let me just say this, right? And a lot of people give me heat and a lot of slack because everybody knows I don't fuck with Duke. I don't fuck with Duke athletics at all. So everybody thinks I'm hating on Danny Jones. But it's like, he almost cost us the game. Saquon kept us in that game. Shep kept us in that game, not just with his catches, but he was doing some great blocking too that wasn't really talked about. Mm-hmm. Shep was out there blocking like a motherfucker. Mm-hmm. And Daniel Jones was making silly mistakes. I don't know if they showed it, but Brian Dabble tore him up.
Okay.
On the sideline.
Yeah, he had a couple of spots in the fourth quarter, but overall he played a good game. Overall, he made plays when he had a game. Yeah, he played all right. Listen, he was accurate. He was hitting guys. He threw that bomb to Shepard that was on the money. Like, he was open too, but, he saw him.
I was going to say, he threw a lot of dinks too. He was dinking a lot.
And that's good. And guess what? That's good.
That's fine. Yeah, because he should have been launched.
Yeah, he actually looked like he would. You know what it was? It wasn't he He's been giving off this vibe since the preseason, though, that he's confident. Way more than like last year and the year before. A lot of times he just looked like a lost puppy out there. He was like shook. He seemed like
I call him Danny Doof.
Yeah, he didn't know. It seemed like he didn't really know what was going on. He was overwhelmed by everything. It seemed like, right? Like he was just overwhelmed out there. And like this year, from what I've seen, I haven't seen that from him. I haven't seen that overwhelmed look. That I don't. It's everything. He just looked like a normal, solid quarterback. And
I'm going to count that to two things. I'm going to count that to a new coaching system.
100%.
Brian Daboll's bringing a great system.
Yeah.
An offense that he coached to almost the AFC Championship, except, that overtime fucked him over. But that and also, like...
No, the defense fucked him over, not overtime, but go ahead.
That's true, too. You're right. You're absolutely right. And also the fact that the coaching change and the fact that they didn't pick up his option. So now it's like,
okay. So he knows he got to play. Yeah.
Now I got a bowl, exactly.
Yeah.
I got a bowl.
And I think you hit on it really, though, with that bowl. These guys seem to know how to get the most out of a quarterback, which is key. Like he was getting the most out of Josh Allen. He took Josh Allen from a guy who was raw with talent and showed flashes into a guy who got better every year. Josh Allen got better every year. We're under this guy.
I want to touch on something you said a little while before I hopped on the line, Adam. I want to touch on the Raiders real quick.
Yeah.
I think, first of all, is it safe to say that the AFC West is the best division in football right now?
Hold on. Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, and Broncos. I'd say it's somewhat safe. I think they got competition in a couple spots. But, yeah, I like the AFC North, too. But go ahead.
Oh, all right.
I would say the West. I'll give it to the West. I'll give it to the AFC West. Yeah, I'll agree with that.
You didn't talk about this yet, so let's talk about it right now.
Go ahead.
Talk to me about Joe Burrow's game yesterday.
Okay. I thought Joe Burrow didn't play that bad. I thought that the Steelers players made great interceptions. Cam Sutton made a fantastic interception in that game.
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
he read that route perfectly.
He was. Sometimes as a quarterback, right? You're gonna give a guy a chance to make a play. So if the defensive guy just makes a sparkling play, then they get all props. T.J. Watt made a great play too, catching his interception.
He did. I'm very upset that he got injured.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Which is better than a year. And like, see, I played a lot of quarterback, right? And see, I'm a guy that I don't really see. A lot of people like to talk about interception. I don't think interceptions are the most horrible thing in the world. Because I've had games where I threw an interception or two, and you know what? We still won because my confidence can get shaken. And late in the game, when the chips were on the table, I was going to get it. And the interception or two I threw in the game didn't really matter.
Let me know if you disagree, but isn't that how Brett Favre played the game?
Exactly. And I'm a Brett Favre. That was one of my guys that I looked towards. Brett Favre and Marino, they threw interceptions, but they were going to get it in the fourth quarter late.
Yeah, exactly.
So
the interceptions didn't shake them.
So Joe Burrow didn't have obviously he wasn't great yesterday. T. Higgins got knocked out of the game, which was a thing. They're not getting much from Tyler Boyd recently either. I've noticed that.
But you know what? It's one game. Let me give it one or two more games before I.
Yeah. Joe Burrow to me is fine. He got them back. When they needed it, he got them back to tie the game, and then they took a touchdown away, something like that. That played a chase. So he was fine. He was okay to me. I mean, obviously he doesn't want to throw 4 interceptions, but 3 of them were really nice plays by the Steelers. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was kind of like, I'm not kind of like. Not so, and plus the Steelers to me have a tremendous defense. That kid Alex Highsmith, opposite of T.J. Watt, he's going odd. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, Joe Burrow wasn't his best game, but he's not in my top 5 MVP. I do even a top 5 MVP after week 1. Now that's my thing.
Okay,
but whatever.
Let me hear it. I got one too.
Okay, so I'm going with Pat Mahomes, number 1.
Ooh.
I'm going with Justin Herbert. Number 2, I'm going with Josh Allen, number 3. He wants to play a thing. I gotta, from what I saw in TJ Watt yesterday, I'm gonna put him at number 4, even though he's gonna miss games. I'm gonna have to take him out, obviously, out of it. I'm gonna put him at number 4 for now, for this part of the season. And you know what? I'm gonna put Saquon Barkley at number 5.
There we go.
Shout out to the Giants.
Yeah, I got to put Saquon at number 5. He had the game-winning 2-point conversion, rushed for 164 yards and a touch.
Yes, sir.
Can't come from behind win. There it is. I got him at number 5. Yeah, I got Saquon at number 5.
He's my number 4.
Yeah, and TJ Watt's going to fall out of it after the next game or two because he's not going to play. So.
And that's just by default, but
Yeah, but after the game he had yesterday, he had a pick, 2 passes defense, 3 tackles for loss, a sack. He's a savage. He had like 6 tackles and didn't even play in overtime. He's just
savage.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. He's the best defensive player in the league right now, not Aaron. I know they keep trying to say Aaron Donald's the best defensive player in football still. He's not. It's TJ Watt. It's not even close.
I mean, he's the defensive player of the year for a reason. The defending defensive player.
But they were still saying after the year is over in the offseason that Aaron Donald's the best defensive player in football. He's not.
He's an all-time talent, but
he's great. Yeah, TJ Watt got it right now. The season he had last year was out of control. He had 22 and a half sacks in 15 games and 8 passes defensed and 22 tackles for loss. And
because he missed a couple of games last year.
Yeah, and 4 forced fumbles and just ridiculous. And they robbed him of a sack in that Ravens game in the last game. He broke the record. I'm still pissed about that.
Oh, yes, they did. Yep.
That's not a sack, bro. What was that? I don't know. That's crazy how you're just going to rob him like that when he's going for the record. But that's besides the point. Michael Strahan's on TV. They don't want to kind of, it's going to be hard to pass Michael Strahan. Not only does he have the record, but he's on Good Morning America. That's, he's a big-time guy. Yeah, Michael Strahan. Yeah, Michael Strahan's a Good Morning America, too. He's prime time.
Hey, Big Blue, baby. I ain't mad at it.
How about this, yo, Nate? Let's switch it over real quick.
Go ahead, Nate. Oh, do your top 5, Nate. Let me hear your top 5.
Yeah, my bad. Top 5.
Yeah, my top 5. It's similar to yours. I got Patty Mahomes, number 1, Patty Daddy.
Uh-huh.
I got Justin Herbert, number 2.
Uh-huh.
I got Josh Allen, number 3 as well.
Okay.
I got Saquon at number 4.
Okay. I dig it.
I got Saquon at number 4, and let me, before I tell you who my number 5 is, let me just expand on the Saquon thing to just get my bias out of it.
Okay.
It's because he won that game. Daniel Jones lost that game for them, and he still came through on offense and made it happen and did what he had to do. And he had a great first year, great second year, and then the next 2 years, injuries. We didn't know what to expect. And so it was, we didn't know what to expect coming in here.
And that's because of Daniel Jones, mostly. Yeah, that's why you didn't know what to expect. And I think the Giants have a lot of talent on offense. I've been telling Rilla since the off. The Giants have talent on their offense. They have offensive linemen. They've got running backs besides Saquon that are good. Matt Breida is a good player, is a good running back. Gary Brightwell's even a good young.
And that we can do that switch. Saquon don't got to take the whole load himself.
Yeah. And then I love Richie James since he was at Middle Tennessee State. That's a good. Richie James can play. Galladay can play. Kadarius Toney
Galladay he's getting his own way right now.
Yeah, he is.
Kenny Galladay is stopping Kenny Galladay.
Yeah. Kadarius Toney's got talent. We know Sterling Shepard's a good-ass wide receiver. That we know.
He was blocking. He was blocking yesterday.
He's really good.
I've never blocked so much in the game before. And I'm like, this guy, he's not even getting credit for. He's doing the dirty work, and nobody got him out.
Yeah. No, he's a really good player at Sterling Shepard. He'll go to another team with a big-time quarterback, and he'll get busy.
Yeah. Or just get a big-time quarterback in New York.
Yeah, or whatever, But I think Daniel Jones actually has improved to the point where the team where the team believes that they can win games with him now. Now they think he's not a superstar, but we have enough talent on offense where we can win games with him playing quarterback. They actually believe it.
Because Dak broke his hand, so that's gonna give us a little advantage.
Who?
Especially when we start.
Who broke his hand?
I think he went to prison. That.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's going to give us a slight advantage.
Watch out for Carson Wentz and the Commanders. I got Carson Wentz actually in that 6th spot right now for MVP.
I got Justin Jefferson is my number 5.
That's a good one. That is a good one. That's a good one. And I got Kirk Cousins in my top 10. But I like Justin Jefferson in that. Justin Jefferson, if he has another good game this week and the Vikings win, he'll be probably jump into my top 5.
They play Monday next week against the Eagles.
Yeah, so if he has a good game, Justin Jefferson, great call, number 5 right now. Can't argue with that. Had a phenomenal game against Green Bay yesterday.
Adam, let me ask you something.
Go ahead.
How do you feel about the fact that Joe Flacco not only started yesterday, but got 59 passes out?
Because the Jets couldn't, they weren't able to score points early. The running game wasn't bad. Hall and Carter ran the ball pretty well.
59 passes though.
But that's because they're down in the second half, and you're trying to come back against the Ravens defense that you're just trying to throw the ball and see what can happen. And he completed enough passes so where he was able to throw more passes. So because they were in the second half, if you notice, the Jets moved the ball, but they couldn't score. Missed a field goal, interception here, fumble here, turnover on downs, but they actually moved the ball, so he threw the ball. I don't know why people are going so crazy about him throwing 59 passes. I really don't care because it was just one of those games where they were down in the second half trying to come back. So, that's it. It went from 3-0 late in the second quarter to 24-0 late in the third quarter, to 24-3 real quick late in the third quarter.
Real quick.
So they're down 3 touchdowns. Of course they're going to throw the ball. And he was completing some passes, so that's how it went. But they couldn't get in the end zone until late. So it is what it is. They just need Zach Wilson to come back. The team doesn't believe in Joe Flacco as anything. They see Zach Wilson as a talented young quarterback that got better as the season went on last year. They want to see what he could do year 2. But he's not out there, so there was a disappointment. There was a hypeness that the Jets lost because Flacco ended up being the starter opening day, which was not in the plan. So that's where they kind of lost some of their mojo yesterday. And the Jets defense played well, and I think they could play even better. I think the Jets have a good defense.
All right, hold on.
The Jets got a good defense, by the way.
Because we're about to move on to a quick subject.
Okay.
But I do want to ask both of y'all this question. Mm-hmm. Do y'all think the Giants got an actual chance to go to the playoffs at least?
To the playoffs? Yeah, they got an actual chance to go to the playoffs.
I think that they have a chance to compete, to be in the mix a little bit. I just don't think defensively they're going to be able to hold up. That's the problem for me with them. Unless these two
wild card state is going to be working in our favor.
Well, they had the same from last year. Yeah, they added a wild card. I just don't think so. I just don't think they have enough. I don't. The young DNs, Thibodeau and Ojulari, are going to have to be big time for that to happen. Like they're both going to have to.
Who is the division to you?
Who's going to make the playoffs? If 7 teams in the NFC, if I had to pick,
who wins the NFC East?
I don't know yet, but I think it's going to be the Eagles probably, and maybe Washington. Washington could be just as good as the Giants can. I think that Washington may have even more upside than the Giants because I think they're a little better on defense, and I think Carson Wentz is better than Daniel Jones.
When Chase Young comes back, I'll agree with that statement.
I think even without Chase Young, they could beat the Giants.
Oh, we'll see.
Because they're a little better on defense, and Carson Wentz is a little better than Daniel Jones at quarterback.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
So, and then you got Green Bay could struggle this year, but Minnesota looks good, and I think Detroit is going to be in the mix a little bit. I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs, but Detroit's going to make it. Detroit scraps, bro. Jared Goff's a quarterback that he's won games before. They got some young players, and they play hard. They play hard for Dan Campbell. Yeah, they are competing. Who else? I mean, the NFC West is a little bit of a disappointment. Last year they were great. Now they look like
the Cardinals. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, they look. I feel like the Cardinals can somehow bounce back a little bit. I don't like the Rams losing Von Miller. I don't like what I'm seeing with Stafford's elbow. I don't like their running game. I think the Rams could be in trouble.
That Von Miller trail was serious.
San Francisco, with the young quarterback, they're struggling.
Does Jimmy G get his starting job back at any point this year?
I think it could happen.
Ooh.
Because I think it's going to be, the NFC is going to be very parity. The NFC, there's no clear-cut team to me at all.
No.
Except for maybe Tampa. Even through the offensive line woes, they look good. But everybody else is like, who knows what's going to happen in the NFC? So if it's like a point where like San Francisco's like 3-5, but everyone's still in the mix, why not put Jimmy G in there to make another run? If you know he's going to do better and Lance is struggling, why not? You know what I mean? Because they got the team to win now, San Francisco. They're a win now team. If you look at their roster.
It was just in the Super Bowl, what?
3 years ago, they win the NFC Championship game last year. That's a win now squad. I think New Orleans is going to make it. I like their team. I think they finally beefed up their wide receiving core. Yeah, Jameis Winston, if he can stay healthy. I know Michael Thomas is back. They added Jarvis Landry, and they drafted Chris Olave. You know what I'm saying? And they got a good defense. They got Alvin Kamara. Taysom Hill had a good game yesterday running the ball. He made big plays.
He's a central cog to that team.
Yeah. So the Saints,
even though Champagne's not there anymore, they got to keep that open.
Yeah, exactly. They still they got to keep that Taysom package in there because he gets busy.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the Bucs, Carolina looks like they're better with Baker. Baker played good in the second half.
Yeah.
They need McCaffrey to get going.
He shook it off.
Yeah. If they can get Christian McCaffrey going in the running game and keep him healthy, they have a chance to make the playoffs. Atlanta's not bad. Their defense is not bad. I don't think they're going to make it, but they're going to be a tough out. They're going to be a tough team to play against.
I didn't expect Mariota to
if you followed the preseason, he played very well in the preseason too, Mariota. Yeah, he did. I think the NFC, it's like, who knows what's going to happen? I really the Giants could have actually, now that I think about it, they could have, they could get in the playoffs. Because I think almost the whole league, the whole NFC right now, I think could make the playoffs. Anyone. There's no one I can really count out. Not even the Seahawks. Because they might win this game right now.
I'm telling you, Gino shocked me. And I said at the beginning of this conversation, I had to check myself like, Gino's a starter in this league.
Yeah, but know what? They haven't scored in the second half.
They haven't.
No. That's where.
Leaning on the defense.
Yeah, and they're not going to be able to do that all the time. The Seattle and Chicago, to me, are hard-pressed to make the playoffs, but I think anyone else can. That's my pick that.
That wild card is going to be shaky.
Yeah, the NFC, the Giants have a shot because it's not the AFC where you got stud teams like Kansas City, the Chargers, the Bills look like 3 stud teams off the jump.
Oh yeah, no, I think the Bills. I think that's the only runaway with division. I don't think anyone else except I think the Bills are going to run away with it.
Yeah.
I think the AFC North is competitive. The South is competitive.
Yeah,
I think the West is the most competitive. Think about
the AFC. We named 3 stud teams, right? The Chargers, Chiefs, Bills, and we didn't even name the team that went to the Super Bowl last year, the Bengals, who basically brought the whole team back. The Ravens are dangerous. I think Pittsburgh, when they put Kenny Pickett in the starting lineup, which I think is not going to be too far away, they're going to be dangerous. I think Kenny Pickett's going to be much better than Mitch Trubisky. Kenny Pickett is nice.
True. I didn't think it was going to happen this year, but I think that.
Oh, it's going to happen. Oh, it's going to happen. It's going to happen no later than week 8.
That's your squad too.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett is ready to play in the NFL as a starting quarterback. He's ready already. He played good in every preseason game. Very good. But Mitch played okay and played good in the last one. So they're like, let's go with the veteran. Let's make the kid wait.
Mason clearly by a long shot.
Who?
Kenny Pickett.
Outplayed who?
Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, for sure he did. He kind of outplayed Trubisky, but not by enough to where they were like, you know what, let's just go with it.
Yeah,
Tomlin's like, let's run Trubisky. Let's give him a look. He didn't play bad. He made some throws, But I think Pittsburgh, if Watt can come back and Kenny Pickett can get in the starting lineup, they're dangerous. The Raiders are dangerous. The Raiders are still dangerous. And this Broncos team is dangerous that we're watching right now. These teams are talented teams.
The Raiders are figuring it out, and once they figure it out, because now Derek Carr saw how he could just throw it to Devontae Adams and like, oh, you going to catch that? Cool. I know that now.
Let me ask you a crazy question, though, Nate. I think the worst division in the NFL is by far the AFC South.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Who's going to win that division?
I didn't like. You know what? I didn't like
Tough
what I
question.
saw from Matt Ryan. I didn't like what I saw from Matt Ryan.
No, he's getting old. He's getting he's turning it. He's moving towards that Joe Flacco. He's like before, he's like a few steps before Joe Flacco right now.
He's getting there.
Yeah.
And I think Tennessee figures it out and ends up winning that division.
You think so? To be honest, I think that the Jags might make a run in that motherfucker. They didn't look bad yesterday, the Jags. They lost a tough game against the Commanders, but Trevor Lawrence looked pretty good, honestly.
Oh, yeah, no, I think he's going to.
And they got Doug Peterson coaching. I think the Jags could steal that division. I would not be shocked if Jacksonville ended up winning that division, I'm telling you.
Yo, Nate,
ahead,
quick
Rilla.
thing.
Yo.
Just to wrap up this call. Just to switch it up real quick, who do you got this year, basketball-wise, going to the chip?
Ooh,
Sixers over everything.
All right. You have a good night. That was
Sixers against who? Who's going to play in the finals? Sixers against who?
Against the Warriors.
Okay. I'm a homer. I'm going Nets Nuggets.
Ooh, I'm not mad at that.
I like Porter and Murray coming back healthy. That's it. That makes everything different for the Nuggets.
I'm a huge Michael Porter fan. I'm a very huge fan of Michael Porter.
Hey, Crow Curry going back to the chip.
I think with Jokic did so well without Murray and Porter. People forget that. You get Murray and Porter, and
are they both coming back this year?
Yeah. Murray could have came back for the playoffs.
I know Murray is with Porter. I don't know because he got that back.
No, they're both be ready to go for the game one, both of them. And I think they added somebody. Who they get that I like? Oh, they got fucking the Nuggets got my boy, my beloved net, Bruce Brown.
Bruce Brown,
I love Bruce Brown.
They did.
Yeah.
Bruce Brown is one of those secretly really good players that you have to watch him night in, night out. When you follow a team, you know how that is, Nate. When you follow a team, you watch him night in, night out, so you really see the team. Bruce Brown, if you watch the Nets night in, you loved him the last 2 years because he just brings so much to the table. And then at the end of last year, he started hitting threes at a good clip, but he brings defense. He runs the floor. He gets the team hype with dunks. He steals the ball. He's just one of those guys. He does whatever you need to win that game. If he got to guard the center, he'll do that. He'll be the in the dunker spot on offense or in the middle by the foul line. Set screens. He'll play point. He'll play on the wing. It don't matter. He's like a player that's just like all about winning.
So Nate, you got Philly and the Warriors.
Yeah.
All right.
I got Nets Nuggets. We'll see how it goes.
Nuggets, Philly Warriors. Hey yo, shout out to my boy Nate. I appreciate you coming on
Nate,
the line.
we love it. You got to be our. You're gonna be our number one. From definitely. The way this flowed, you're gonna be our number one guest spot guy. You're gonna be like what's his name? Broussard was on that other show where he was always on, but he was. You know what I mean?
By the way, quick thing. What is the Slam magazine that you did that?
What happened?
What is the Slam magazine that you did the article for?
Oh, it's 238, page 72. I covered the PSAL championship. Shout out to South Shore High School.
Shout out to South Shore.
There we go.
Boys and girls team, and another championship. The boys they third in a row, and the girls they sixth in a row.
PSAL, let's go.
Please check out my boy, one of the top journalists out there. We got a big project dropping soon.
SlamOnline.com.
238 Slam Online. Check out my boy Nate.
Nasty Nate Derosina.
No.
Oh, wait.
I think it's Nathaniel Derosina. If I'm I'm not wrong.
It says Nate on the article.
It says Nate on the article.
It is Nate.
My boy Nasty Nate's on the article.
Nasty Nate.
Hey, yo, we got a big thing coming up this year, going into 2023. Me and my boy Nate. My boy Nate got a big project coming up.
I heard about that. That's gonna be on fire.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
by Javante
doing the treatment, and I'm saying doing a little thing there. But shout out to my boy Nate. I love you, my brother. I appreciate you coming on Critical Thoughts.
You're gonna be on a lot, so this is just your warm-up.
We're gonna give you another call. Yeah, we're gonna be on this week.
He's gonna be on a lot. He's the number one
definitely.
guest now.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, say no more.
Shout out to you, my brother. I appreciate you coming on.
Yo, thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.
Nate. Yeah, Nate's the man, bro. He had a good flow just now. That's our guy. So, yeah, good job, Nate. Deracina, great job. He's gonna be the Chris Broussard of the podcast.
Yo, man. Yeah, man. The NFL is exciting right now. We got like probably 20 minutes more to go. Yo.
So we'll update you real quick before.
Yeah, go ahead.
Seahawks lead 17-16 with a little over a minute, trying to hang on, but the Broncos down 1 with the ball inside Seattle territory that are at about good cut. Oh no, this guy made a play out here. Wow, and his helmet came off. So yeah, no, the Broncos are still at their own like 45-yard line. So we'll see if Russell Wilson can make a play against his old team in first game with the Broncos against his old team. This is a crazy game. So the Broncos are down 1 with the ball. Russell Wilson, game on the line. Let's see how this goes. Drama. But go ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh, no, yeah. We got a crazy football season coming up. Basketball
college football, we didn't even get into.
Boxing is coming up. We got Canelo and Triple G coming
weekend,
up.
Baby.
Definitely going to be tuned in for that. Definitely.
We got some good fights coming up from now to the end of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wilder, Hellenius. Devin Haney versus Kambosos, part 2. Lomachenko's fighting Ortiz soon. What else? Who else? Dimitri Bivol against Zerto Ramirez at light heavyweight. I love that fight. What else we got going on? Is Regis Prograis fighting at 140? I feel like Ramirez against Cepeda for one of the belts at 140, a rematch.
Ooh.
Jose Ramirez against Cepeda.
I ain't gonna lie.
Against Jose Cepeda.
Lomachenko's coming back against somebody.
Jermaine Ortiz.
Shout out to Lomachenko. It's my boy.
He's the Matrix. And no, everybody obviously, of course, hopes that Lomachenko wins and then either Haney or Kambosos, but really Haney wins against Kambosos. So the
rematch is coming.
So if Haney wins again and Lomachenko wins his fight, they're looking to set up Lomachenko versus Haney.
That's the one we want to see.
Yeah. That's the one I want to see.
That's the one I want to see. Because honestly, like Haney's good, but I don't.
I think Lomachenko will give him that work.
You know what it is, man? I keep telling people about Lomachenko. He has that Pacquiao thing. He's throwing 1,000 punches per second.
Man. That work rate is crazy.
It's crazy, and that cardio. Like he's in the 10th round throwing the same punches he was throwing in the first.
Yeah.
And that's
Usyk is like that too.
This is my thing, because I know boxing and basketball, so I could go for hours about this thing. But Lomachenko is special, bro.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people
they try to hate on him.
I don't think it's hate.
It is.
It's hate.
Yeah. It's pure bias. It's pure bias. But it is what it is, but it's pure bias. Some of them can't see, they don't understand what the nuance like you do and I do, but it's a lot of it's just hate. I see it. I see the comment sections and it's just hate. It is what it is. You know.
But the ones that don't know how great Lomachenko is.
Yeah.
One thing that's very special about the up and coming fight, he posted on Twitter or Instagram that, he's big. He always carries that Ukraine flag behind him. This one is very important to him. And one thing that's very scary to my point is I ain't never heard this nigga talk about something being important to him. And him. Because when he fights, he's just going in there doing work. No mission, no statement.
No emotions.
No emotion. He's just going to do work. And when you got a man that has an emotion or something to prove, especially for a country behind his back, that's a way more dangerous person than the one that you was going against previously. So
yeah, and then Usyk, his countryman, is the same way as like Pacquiao and these guys throwing. That's why if you watch Usyk, and I've been talking about it, what happens in the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th round, and in this fight, the 10th through 12th round, Usyk pulls away. He pulls away because he beats you in those last rounds.
Yeah.
Anthony Joshua fight, he won rounds 9, 10, 11, and 12.
Oh, quick.
Second fight, he won
talking
10,
about
11,
gangster.
and 12.
Shout out to Nate Diaz this weekend. He won that fight. That's my boy. But yeah, keep on.
Oh, he won? Nate Diaz won?
Yeah, he won a fight. The dude was talking. Dude was talking crazy about Nate. And I don't know if you know anything about Nate Diaz or the Diaz brothers.
I don't know much about that UFC.
That motherfucker is one of the most gangsters white boys ever.
Who is?
Nate Diaz.
Okay.
And you will love Nate Diaz if you get into Nate Diaz. He's no filter. Doesn't care. And he tells everybody, I think he's from Stockton or some shit. Because he has this thing, the Stockton slap. And he tells people all the time, most gangster niggas come out of L.A.
Yo, I will give you this.
He's a nigga, bro.
I will give you this. I do hear these UFC guys, and they don't have a filter. They don't care about being politically correct. They don't care about whatever. They just talk their shit. You're right. And I don't follow UFC, but I've heard some of these guys talk.
Yeah, like I don't follow the UFC
boxers were more missed it. Seahawks are gonna win it. Wow, that was a 64-yarder.
Yeah, but we wish the boxers
are more like liars, and these UFC guys keep it 100.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I've heard some of them, and they keep it a buck.
One of my favorites is Yoel Romero, Cuban
I think
fighter.
I know what you're talking about. He's dope.
Listen, watching him and getting into his whole thing, he's probably the best physical specimen I've ever heard of about a fighter. There was this thing, I think, when he fought.
They take the cue from Dana White, I think, too.
Yeah, of course. But when he fought,
Dana White just don't give a shit either.
Asani, whatever the dude.
Yeah, he rips that dude.
Great, right? Joe Rogan had reported that doctors say they never seen a physical specimen like Yoel Romero. Like, just physically, the way he's built is something that is out the norm. Like, he had got a bad eye injury or something like that. By the time he went to the hospital, the doctor said that his eye was already repairing itself.
Wow.
And, like, the tendon muscle and everything that they seen is, like, exortable or whatever that shit is called. Yeah, it was healing at a pace that they never seen a human. Yo, bro, I've seen this thing in a fight get kicked in the face and then hit himself and tell a nigga to keep hitting him.
Wow.
He's like, he gets hit and he's like eating punches, Cuban dude. Wow. But he's like, Joe Rogan said it, a lot of other, Conor McGregor gave him a shout out recently, telling him, like, Conor McGregor said that he's not mimicking, but he's mirroring his fighting game for the rest of his career towards Yoel, because he's looking at him like, this is it. Like, we've never seen something like this ever in the fighting history, boxing and UFC. We've never seen a specimen like that.
It's just a physical specimen that's special. Just like a freakish kind of dude. Wow, that's
special.
Dope. Yeah, no, I kind of did. Like, I've been like, yeah, UFC. I don't really. Like, it's too much. Like, I got so much sports overload. I've kind of overlooked the whole MMA game. Yeah, but I've been hearing quotes from some of these guys and just the way they are. I kind of like it. I kind of didn't know much about Dana White. He keeps it a buck. He's a real dude. You may like him or dislike him, but he's a guy who kind of just straight shoots you.
At first, Dana White, I don't know why, bro. Like, he just rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see how he rubs people the wrong way,
the more I, like, got into him as the person, motherfucker's dope.
Yeah, he's kind of got a little Donald Trump effect to him.
Yeah, but he's like a realist, though.
He is.
One of a dope story. Sorry to cut you off. One of the dope stories that I've seen on Instagram, there was this girl that went viral because she got fired from her job for just, doing more. But they had one of those managers that was like, nah, you just got to do what was told. And she was actually doing a good deed for a customer. And she got fired over it. What Dana White did is something like that. If I'm getting the story wrong, my bad. But it's something very close to that. What he did, though, my point is he actually hired the girl after he seen the video. And she's been his personal security for 3 years. Female. But it was just things like that for a man to just stretch his hand is dope. The thing with Tyson had something going wrong with his contract on Hulu, and they was trying to play him. And then Hulu was trying to give a deal to Dana White. And then when Dana White heard how they did Mike Tyson, he called Mike Tyson and was like, yo, what's this situation with Hulu? He's like, I can't fuck with them. They're not good. They're trying to fuck me over. He called Hulu and was like, I'm not doing a deal. Yeah, just because his man is Mike Tyson, and if y'all fucking over my man, we're not doing it.
No, Dana White, he's real, man. And, you know, the media tries to undermine him. I've known that. I watched this clip with him, and he gets them with facts. He doesn't hide from any questions. He gives it to you real, and then he goes back and gets facts, and then anyone who's trying to slander him, he buries them. He buried Oscar De La Hoya in this thing. And I was like, yo, he bodied this dude, man. This guy's not playing games.
And you know what's the thing? Like, you know this talk, because we got this type of talk. A person like Oscar can't really sit there and go tit for tat with somebody like Dana. Because Dana's running his system.
Yeah.
He is the system that he's running.
Yeah.
You got to go through a whole, even though it's Golden Boy, you still got to deal with your barbarians. You got to deal with all that shit.
Bodies. You got to deal
all
with
that shit. And you know the big tops,
all of that
people
shit.
like barbarians not going to step down until that motherfucker dies.
Yeah, no.
So this motherfucker's like Rockefeller with 30 hearts.
And then you got to deal with Al Heyman on the PBC side.
Yeah, man. So it's like,
and the sanctioning bodies, which are all, they do their own thing.
And then, you know, like boxing is not what it used to be. Oh,
there's a lot of ducking going on.
There was a lot of, but now it's just a lot of like,
Dana White doesn't allow for this ducking.
Payoff,
makes everyone fight everyone. See, UFC, Dana White got everybody banging in there. Yeah. So there's no ducking. Like, the boxing got these guys that are ducking and you know
what's great about UFC? If the people says, all right, let's just say Connor's this dude, right? And then you got motherfucking Khabib or some shit.
Y'all fighting.
He's that dude that's coming up, and you the one with the crown. Y'all fighting.
Yeah.
There's no ducking. There's no, and y'all got beef. I don't care how motherfucker threw a fucking chair through this nigga tour bus and all type of shit. I don't care. We will handle that legally, but y'all still gonna fucking fight.
Yeah, I like that with Dana.
Gangster. We beat this nigga ass too. Yo, shout out Khabib, man.
Yo, Dana, and then some of the fighters too. I like Israel Ediani.
That's who I just mentioned, bro.
I like
his
that dude.
only loss is to the guy I was just mentioning.
I like that dude. He's a real one. That dude's a real one.
To me, he's one of the fucking greatest.
Yeah, he's
personality,
everything.
I like that guy over the top.
He's tremendous.
He's so fucking real about everything.
Tremendous
but yo,
guy.
So what I was saying, I want to show you a clip when he was fighting Yoel. That's the first time I've ever seen him like, yo, what the fuck am I dealing with? And then he tried to just, you know, the fighter spirit was just like, yeah, he's gonna be limping after this fight. This nigga Yoel started dancing salsa. Like the dude, like, he's different, bro. He's different. But yo, shout out to the UFC. Shout out to Dana White.
I was like John Jones. He was dope to me.
Shout out to John Jones. He's probably doing a bump right now as we speak.
But he'll come out and bust your whole shit.
Your whole shit. He's undefeated.
Still?
Undefeated.
His brother is Chandler Jones, the defensive end for the Raiders.
Oh.
For the Cardinals and the Titans.
Take a bump and fuck you up.
Yeah.
His criminal ways is what kind of hinders his career.
Yeah.
You know, and
he seems like a good guy though. He's just a little out there. He just likes to do crazy shit. But
bro,
he don't seem like a bad guy.
He's the perfect specimen of just
he
give a good person that was just brought up a certain way. Give him some money. Like,
it's like he's a wild boy, but he's not a bad guy. John Jones, I don't think at all. He comes off to me. They have this thing, but I look at him. I've heard it. I'm like, this guy's a good guy. He's just a wild guy. That's it. He has some couple of issues, but he's not a bad person.
He's one of those goats.
Yeah, he's a great fighter too. I like John Jones, and I don't even watch UFC, but I like John Jones.
Yeah, man. Like that's one thing me and my boy Adam got in common. We go for a lot of personality people. Like
me too.
The real man.
I'm big with that.
I'm huge with that. Like I don't, and like sometimes it's kind of biased in a way because we're so big on personality with people and just as men. But you know, that's what makes the person. That's what makes the character. And that shit oozes. Yeah. Especially in fighters, that shit oozes out of you.
That's why I love Usyk. His personality is unbelievable.
That's why I love Tyson so much. That's why I love Tyson. His story, his story and the person he is today.
You know? He was the most fun out of all those heavyweights back then.
Yeah, but to see who he has become and understanding,
you
know, like his flaws and understanding where he went wrong, like he walks around like apologizing to certain people, you know, because
he could be a totally different guy, but he just kind of like he respects. He shows a lot of respect for a guy who was a beast. He respects a lot. Like, he knows a lot about the history of boxing.
Bro, he knows a lot of history of fighting.
Yeah, fighting. But he knows,
because I watch his podcast. This motherfucker talks about Genghis Khan. He talks about samurai spirit. He talks about just fighting, like just being a warrior and just being, like he says things like everybody has a dragon inside them, you just don't know how to release it. Yeah. And he's a person that was born with it.
And you could tell he's not feeling these fighters, these new age fighters, like ducking and all this bullshit they do. He actually, Jamal Charlo, he actually came on his hotbox and he pressed him. And
I think he actually called his opponent on the actual line.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, big shout out and rest in peace to Casamado, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, one of the greatest trainers ever.
Yeah.
Freddie Roach, too, one of the greatest trainers ever. But yeah, man. But look, we're reaching that hour mark, that 1:30 hour mark.
We can shut it down.
Hey, yo, we're going to hit y'all back up this weekend, of course.
We're going to be around for Canelo Triple G.
Yes, sir.
That's a big day. And we're going to try to get on before Wednesday or Thursday. And we're going to do some hard college football, NFL picks. We'll be ready this week. We'll have that. We'll talk about... we'll preview the fight a little bit, preview the week in college football and NFL. And the baseball playoffs around the corner, too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it's going to be fun.
Hey, yo, Critical Thoughts Podcast. We in the building. I'm your host, Rilla Crow. Your main host, Adam Neal.
A.K.A. Crowdell.
Yeah, Crowdell. Adam Neal, A.K.A. You have a lot.
I have a lot of names. What they used to call me?
Neil the Field?
No. Neil Manziel. Neil Manziel,
and
baby. Also Hollywood.
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Yeah, we're going to run with that for the next podcast.
Neil Manziel, that's what I was saying.
Hey, yo, man, if you're a new listener, if you're a new watcher.
That's what Nems. Nems isn't the only person who told me that.
Yeah, shout out to Nems.
Big shout out to Nems.
Big bomb.
Always a big shout out to Nems.
Always a big shout out to Nems. Shout out to Brooklyn, always. But listen, for the new watchers, please like, subscribe, comment.
Yes.
Let us know how you feel. If this shit is whack, let us know.
It can't be whack.
It can't be whack. It's impossible. No. We ain't whack in person, so it's impossible.
No way.
But shout out to the Facebook listeners. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. Shout out to the followers that's been consistent. This is Critical Thoughts Podcast, episode 25.